Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you, I would say probably my family's most famous recipe, and it is for something that we call mint dessert. Alright, if you're new here, my name is Claire. My channel is all about mom stuff, lady stuff, and life stuff. So definitely hit that subscribe button down below if you're into any of that. I love to cook and I have lots of food-oriented videos up on this channel. Most of them I do shopping at Aldi and recipes that have Aldi ingredients. Today is going to be a little bit different. Most of my ingredients are from Aldi, however, there are two that are not, and those are going to be Milk's favorite cookie, which is Oreos, and also this mint chocolate chip ice cream. This is from a place called Quality Dairy, which is local to mid-Michigan, and it's the very best, and that's why I decided to use this local version. But you can get mint chocolate chip ice cream at Aldi. You can also get an Oreo dupe at Aldi that's really good, but I chose Oreos specifically for kind of a good reason. So yesterday was my 29th birthday, and today is actually the birthday of my uncle who died a while ago, and we were very close. We always celebrated our birthdays every year together. He would have been 70 today, and one thing that when I was really little we would always do is we would have something Oreo themed when we celebrated our birthdays together. So I remember having an Oreo party, giving each other Oreo cookies and Oreo stickers and Oreo t-shirts, and that was something that the two of us shared. So I thought today was just like a good day to whip out the mint dessert recipe in honor of my Uncle John. All right, let's do it. The ingredients you need are powdered sugar, butter, chocolate chips, mint chocolate chip ice cream, evaporated milk, and Oreos. Obviously, this is not a low-calorie dessert. The first thing I'm gonna do actually before I start anything else is put my ice cream in the refrigerator to soften. And then I'm gonna get going on my crust layer. I'm going to count out 25 Oreos. That just seems to be the perfect number. And these are regular Oreos, they're not double stuff. I'm not sure how those would fare in this. I've never tried it. So I just use the regular ones, and I'm counting out 25 into a Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna push all the air out, and then I'm going to use a rolling pin to crush them. This is just my favorite method of crumbling things, but you can do it other ways if you have like a food chopper, or you could do this with a book, or something heavy like that's not gonna break your bag. So there are other ways of doing this. This is just my preferred method. And you just want to crush those all until they're not like super like powdery, but small enough that they'll make a nice crust layer. And sometimes you have to readjust them a little bit because of that cream. It'll make them all stick to the sides of your bag. Now I am just going to put them into a bowl. This is where I will be mixing everything up. I'm gonna go ahead and measure out 1/3 cup of butter, which is really easy to measure out because it is right on the label. And I'm going to just melt that in the microwave until it's nice and liquidy. And then I'm just going to mix that in with my Oreo crumbles. Now I'm going to spread it out on a greased 9x13 pan. And you're just going to use your fingers to kind of spread it all out and just try to get the layer, as even as possible. Because this is going to be a frozen dessert, it's not like super important that every little space is covered. You just want it to be, mostly even. And then you're gonna pop that bad boy in the freezer for an hour. All right, this seems to be the perfect amount of time to let that ice cream soften in the refrigerator. If you need some more time, that's totally fine. You want it to still be nice and cold, but soft enough to spread. And you're just gonna spread your whole container of ice cream over your crust layer. It will definitely help your last layer if you can get it as smooth as possible. It will take a little time. And then, yet again, you're gonna toss that back into the freezer for an hour. While that is freezing, we are going to prepare the top layer. You are going to need 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to melt that in a saucepan and add 4 ounces of chocolate chips. I'm using milk chocolate because it's my favorite. And you're just going to want to get those all nice and melty, but be careful that they don't burn. I have a hard time cooking on a glass top still. I've had this house for like almost a year now, and I still like almost burn everything. So you'll notice that I keep taking the pan off as so not to burn it. And to this, I am adding 2/3 of a cup of evaporated milk. And it will look like pretty lumpy at first, but don't worry, it'll smooth out. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of powdered sugar, and I'm just gonna whisk it in slowly. This will be pretty lumpy, but just keep working it with the whisk. And this is on like a low, like just over a low heat, not quite medium, because we definitely don't want to burn any of these ridiculously sugary things, but we definitely want it to thicken up quite a bit. So once all of the powdered sugar is dissolved, you're gonna wanna keep this on the low heat, stirring from time to time for about 10 minutes. You definitely don't wanna burn it, but you'll notice when it's done, it's like pretty thick. It's not quite as thick as like a fudge. It's more like a syrup, or maybe like, you know, chocolate syrup would be. So don't worry if it's not like frosting, because it's not supposed to be. And now I'm going to transfer it to another container because we want this to be totally cool before we spread it over our ice cream. So to speed that process up just a little bit, I transferred it to another container and I'm popping that in the fridge. All right, now that my ice cream is real frozen and my fudge layer is nice and cool, I'm just going to use a spatula to spread it over the top. And like, because it's so thick, it doesn't usually spread in like a perfect even layer, but it's super delicious, so like, it doesn't really matter. And you'll notice right when it hits that frozen ice cream, it's gonna just like immediately make like a thick layer, and it's hard to move it around, so you kind of have to work very quickly. And you guessed it, back in the freezer for at least an hour until you're ready to serve. Is it yummy? Do you think I did a good job? Is it as good as Grandma's?
Yeah.
That's good. Alright you guys, so I know that this dessert isn't the prettiest or the fanciest, but it is so flippin' delicious. My mother has been making this, gosh, like before I was born, I think. I don't even know where the recipe originally came from, but it's always at Christmas and Thanksgiving and any kind of family event. So I'm really glad I made it. This is actually the first time I've ever made it. My mom is always the one that makes it, so I'm glad that I can do it now. And yeah, cheers to Uncle John. And if you guys want to see more of my recipe videos, I will leave a link in the description box down below. Most of them are Aldi videos, but like I said, most of these ingredients did come from Aldi, just a couple from, you know, Quality Dairy. You're not lucky if you don't live in Michigan. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Are you going to give this a try? I hope you do, because I know you're gonna like it. And of course, hit that subscribe button and come back for more mom stuff, lady stuff, and life stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!